Welcome back to the Red Line Podcast. Here with Justin, Spike King, and oh my god, I fucking forgot your name.
Come on, man.
So embarrassed. But
Killer Kev's more of a spectator, sitting in the stands because he
worked his ass off.
He might chime in a little bit, just a little bit. But let's start off about this Patriots schedule released a little bit ago. Week 1, Pittsburgh, then at Miami, New York, at Buffalo, at Washington, then the in New England Giants, at Jets, Cleveland and Baltimore, at Philadelphia, Dallas, at Houston, Kansas, at Cincinnati, Buffalo, Miami.
The over-under
The over-under this year is 11-5, like you said.
Think everyone in here is taking the over?
Yeah, I'm taking over.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 12-4 every year. You got to go 12-4. Look at last year; they went 11-5. That was the one rare year that they went, under that 12-win mark for like the last decade. Just looking at the schedule, one thing that popped out at me when it first came out was almost every week it's home away, home away, home away. The only time is September 29th, October 6th at Buffalo, at Washington. But still on the East Coast, they're not traveling that far. And at the end of the season, they have the back-to-back home games. Last year, they had 3 home games in a row after starting 1 and 2, which was great for them. This year, it feels like it's home away, home away. 12-4, and I said this off the record. I've also written an article for RatherWayMedia.com that I break this off into 4 sections. Let's start at the beginning of the season, September football. Pittsburgh at Miami, New York Jets at Buffalo. They will lose 1 game. They're going to be 3-1. Now, September football in New England is preseason for them. The only game I see them losing right now is at Miami. Why spiking? Well, at Miami, they've sucked against them. Brady's like 7-9 or whatever his record is at Miami. It's week 2. They're not acclimated to that weather. Last year, they played at Jacksonville, and it was like 110 degrees on the field. We just said right now in New England, it's June. End of June into July, it hasn't been over
90 degrees. Yeah, we were just talking about this.
Yeah. Hasn't even hit 90 degrees yet. They're not acclimated to that weather, especially when we hit training camp at the end of July. Right now, all the players are off. All the players are off until the end of July. They're training on their own time in their own areas, wherever they live. You come here at the end of July 25th is the start of the training camp. The weather could be like pretty nice out, 79 degrees, 80 degrees. It's not humid. It's not blistering hot down there. So that's why I think they lose that game at Miami. So you take those first 4 games, you have 1 loss. You take Washington, at Washington, New York Giants, at New York Jets, Cleveland, at Baltimore. They lose 1 game out of that.
I think at Baltimore is going to be tough.
So I'm going to get right into that and say, at Washington, Alex Smith.
Easy.
Dude, they were a playoff team last year until he got hurt. That team's going through some stuff.
It's such a terrible thing.
You take the New York, now you're on a short week. You take the New York Giants on a Thursday night game. You're at home. That should be a win. That should be a win.
Yeah, easy money.
At the New York Jets, could be a tough game. It was a tough game last year. But that's a Monday night game after you just had a Thursday night game. So now you have a week and a half off to prep for Monday night. So the 2 games on that that span is Cleveland and Baltimore. You have, if any team is going to beat if any team's going to beat the Patriots at Gillette Stadium, it's going to be Cleveland.
Cleveland, because they're going to have a tough time matching up with that offense. They have so many weapons on that Cleveland offense. I can see the Patriots having some tough time matching up with that offense.
And by the time that game comes, we don't know what that Cleveland team's going to be. Are they going to? I think that's a Week 9 matchup. That's either going to
October 27th.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's Week 8. So they could be at that time. They could be 7-0. At that time, they could be 3-4. We don't know what Cleveland is yet. Right now, they're Patriot champions.
That team is going to be
Baker. Really I believe in Baker. That's the thing.
I believe
in him. I believe in that swagger. That's a whole nother conversation. So between Cleveland and at Baltimore, they lose one of those games. I don't know what it is yet. They lose against Cleveland, the next week at Baltimore, they're coming out they're going. And the same thing at Baltimore, Lamar Jackson. I'm just interested to see how his season comes out.
I think Bill Belichick has Lamar Jackson. I think he could beat him.
Baltimore and Patriots, they've had that history the last 20 years.
Always. It's always been a good game with them too.
When I tried out for that NFL commercial, and they just filmed me earlier on for the second round. And one of the questions was, what's the biggest rival for the Patriots? It's got to be Baltimore. If you take any team, it's got to be Baltimore. So, but no matter what, now we're looking at going to the bye week. They're 7-2. every single year, another thing that's been very consistent for the Patriots is they've been 7-2 or better heading into that week. Heading into a bye week or just being at that point after 10 weeks or 9 weeks. They've always been 7-2. You take it after the bye week. You're at Philadelphia.
At Philly, that could be a good game. That could be a trap game. It could be.
So, at Philly.
At Philly, yes.
Dallas, at Houston, Kansas City. You are now talking about 4 possible Super Bowl contenders in a row right there. At Philadelphia, obviously it's the Super Bowl 52 rematch. It's the champion versus champion. You're coming off a bye week, though, in Philly. Going to be a tough crowd to play in. After a bye week, the Patriots should be well rested. They should be mentally ready for that game. You have Dallas coming up here.
I don't think Dallas will give them a problem.
Don't know what you're going to expect. That should be a win because you're at home. At Houston, Houston does play us tough. We've always had Houston's number, but you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen with what's his face over there, Watson. You don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. Then you have Kansas City. Kansas City's not going to be the same team. I do not think they're going to make the playoffs this year.
I think they'll make the playoffs. But
no,
I don't think
that's another story. But in terms of the schedule right now, because I don't want to get down the schedule here, they're going to lose one game right there. You're going to lose one of those games, those 4 games. Right now, you don't know what's going to happen. Injuries happen. Hot streaks happen. One of those 4 teams will be a Super Bowl contender where you're going into that game and be like, this team's like super legit. This team is the best team.
That middle of the season is going to get tough for them.
But at that time, too, 3 out of those 4 teams are going to absolutely suck. One of them's going to get a big injury. It could be a Pat Mahomes. It could be a Dak Prescott. You don't know what it is. Then you just take the last 3 games at Cincinnati, Buffalo, Miami. They'll drop one game because they either drop the Miami game because it's the end of the season. They already have the 1 seed locked up.
Even at home?
Or, yeah, that's at home. Or because it's locked up. It doesn't matter. They can lose. They can take another bye week. Or, spinning this a little bit, the 4 games of Philly, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, they go 2-2 in that stretch. They win the last 3. That's what brings it to 12-4.
I think they win the last 3.
So that's what brings it to 12-4. So no matter what, they're 7-2 heading into the bye week. They drop 2 games after that. I don't know what those games are. It's similar to this year. They lost the Pittsburgh game, the Miami game. You didn't know which games they were going to lose after that at that time. They lost the Titans game heading into the bye week. They should have. So they lost 3 games heading into their bye week last year where they only should have lost 2. That Titans game was like kind of like that, whoa, like, I can't believe they lost that game.
Yeah, that was a weird game.
Especially going down there, it was like New England down there. They controlled that whole time with a fan base. They completely lost that game. So no matter what, they should only lose 2 games prior to the bye week, 2 games after the bye week. Pick your poison.
I
ranted. I had to go down the schedule. I had to rant on every. You want to do every game? I'll do every game like that. But it's just the 12-4. That's what you get it.
Yeah,
I'm thinking 12-4 too. I think they'll beat Pittsburgh. I think they'll beat Pittsburgh. I think if Fitzpatrick starts that game, that's a game I can see them losing. But I don't think Josh Rosen would beat them if he gets the start.
But you got to think also too. You know, they got a chip on their shoulder having. What's his face as the head coach now over there?
Brian Flores?
Yeah. Right, so something like that, you know, a little chip on the shoulder. He knows the team a little bit more. And again, every team, every week, it's the Super Bowl. Every week, every team that plays the Patriots, it's their Super Bowl. Let's beat the Patriots. It's the biggest game of our year. You're going at Miami healthy, where the Patriots, it's their preseason. They're going down to Miami without a tight end right now, because Ben Watson suspended the first 4 games. And
you know what's weird about that? So they signed ASJ, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, and I think when ASJ's been given chances, he's been well. He's done good.
I think they released him.
They did release him. That was weird.
I think it was for personal reasons. That's what I
was
reading.
It? I just thought
it was something weird.
So I don't want to get too far into things because it gets me in trouble, but ASJ. Has had some problems in the past.
He has had some problems in the past. I don't know if it's
I think that when they signed Ben Watson, they kind of went to ASJ and said like, "Hey, you know, like we're going to take Ben Watson over you." I like that signing of ASJ because too. I thought that with Brady and in the system of the Patriots that he would be doing something. But he's just not all there. I'll just keep it at that. He's just not all there, and I think that ASJ, if he gets it together, could be a great tight end. But
but they did sign Matt LaCosse. I love Denver. That's my team. But they signed Matt LaCosse, and he was a good tight end in Denver. Like,
Yeah, but it's just like nothing pops out there. Like
nothing.
it's just like
No,
it doesn't
I know,
pop
but I'm
out
thinking
there.
like I can see him as a guy in the Patriots.
Do they have Ryan Izzo as the other, or did they get? Is that the guy that they got rid of? Because they might have Ryan Izzo as well too. He's supposed to be another tight end.
Did they get rid of Hollister? I feel
Hollister's
like.
Yeah, they
done.
traded him to Seattle.
Yeah,
for,
they're done. I thought Jacob Hollister was going to be the new Gronk. I thought he
traded
had
him
the
to-
build for it.
Yeah.
He had the look for it.
He had the speed.
And then they just traded
Yeah.
for Michael Roberts trade got
it got
canceled because of
denied.
the failed physical.
But in terms of tight end, like there's just nothing there. Like they don't have. There was rumors about getting Kyle Rudolph coming in here,
And then
I
he
just feel
signed
like
with
that-
Minnesota.
But I feel like that was never going to happen. A low key guy is Jacob Johnson because he's from Germany, and this is a shout out to Rune Dog out there for Ride the Wave Media NFL. Is that he did a cover with him, and I don't know much about Jacob Johnson, but I think he can play both fullback and tight end and be that blocking guy.
Yeah,
so he's someone to keep an eye on during the training camp.
I was reading about him. I saw a couple highlights of him. He looks pretty good, and like I feel like when you do look at highlights, like every player looks good when you look at just highlights of them. But when I try to look at players like that, I try to watch full games, and he looked pretty productive on the field. He's the type of tight end, you go check down maybe like a 10-yard pass. His blocking was pretty good to me. His upfield blocking really stood out for the run game.
So just take this tight end conversation we're having right now. We all agreed they don't have a tight end. No. They don't have that.
At least for
there.
the first 4 games.
At least for the first 4, right? And my big thing, and I've said, is the O-line. Like, you lost Trent Brown, so now you're slotting Isaiah Wynn over there. What does he have? We won't find that out until training camp.
I feel like as long as we have what's the offensive line's coach? I keep
Scarnecchia. Scarnecchia is a
Scarnecchia.
If we have Scarnecchia, I feel like the offensive line is going to be.
He's the reason why
good.
a guy like Nate Soldier got overpaid with the New York
Even
Giants.
like Trent Brown.
Yeah. He's the reason why Trent
Brown,
Brown got
oh my
overpaid with
God.
the Oakland Raiders. And shout out to Shaq Mason, because Trent Brown has some great games. And the reason why Trent Brown gets the recognition is because he's protecting Brady's blind side.
He's a
but
left tackle.
Shaq is like in these other guys in the offensive line, Tooney, Andrews. They're picking up the pieces there. They deserve a lot of credit as well too. But I'm talking about offensive line, also a tight end, because tight end was the big part with Gronk. My thing is, after the first 4 games, you got Ben Watson coming back. After another 4 games on top of it, we're talking about week 8, and you're heading to the bye week. Week 10 starts rolling around. Hey, Gronk, we might
Maybe
need you
you
back.
can see
Hey, Gronk, and that's not coming from Belichick. That's coming from Brady. That's coming from Tom Brady to go to Robert Kraft and go to Belichick and be like, we need this guy back
I think
him
they
what
can,
he wants.
They can make it through the first 4 without a tight end. Pittsburgh, Miami, the Jets, and Buffalo. I think they can make
They
it.
made it last year with like nobody. Dude.
Exactly. They can make it through those 4 without a tight end.
Stay healthy.
Have Ben Watson come back, and then right around like weeks 8 and 10, that's when you come getting Gronk, and that's when the schedule gets tough. Right in the middle of the season, you reach out to Gronk. Then Gronk comes back.
The only reason why they will reach out to Gronk and bring him back is from Brady. If Brady did the big thing last year, and Brady made jokes about it on his Instagram, was, hey, I have no grass stains on my jersey. If this guy, after 4 weeks, especially in their preseason, quote unquote preseason, is he's getting hit a lot, he's going to come out there and say, we need to fix this. Similar to the Titans game. That Titans game, Trent Brown was a turnstile all game. They were sick. I think their offensive line was sick. There was a sickness going around. Brady got hit and banged up a lot heading into that bye week, which is why I think they changed their approach after the bye week to be that ground and pound team, to have Gronk as more of a blocker, and they focused more on the offensive line after that, because they were truly the MVPs last year. If Brady's getting hit a lot, he's gonna, because they're in terms of weapons and throwing, they have it all, dude. They
signed on Dontrell Inman too, and I think he can be a great receiver.
And that's a guy that they could cut at the same time, because they have too many guys.
Yeah, they
have too many guys.
Even a guy like Maurice Harris,
or they have a guy like, and then think about this. Ben Watson is suspended those first 4. They're going to have that bubble guy that's on that team. When Watson comes back, they need to get Watson on the active roster. They might cut an Inman. They might cut a Demaryius Thomas at that time.
Yeah, and he's still hurt.
You don't know what they're going to do after the first 4 weeks. That's Edelman last year. Shout out to Cyrus Jones, because they brought him back. I think Cyrus Jones gets a bad rep in New England. He had a little trouble his rookie season. He's still a Super Bowl champion. And I've talked to Cyrus, and he feels like he didn't earn it. No matter what, you're a Super Bowl champion, bro. And a lot of fans are, it's really hard to play here in New England. They shit all over Cyrus Jones. That guy came back and did pretty well last year in the first 4 games as a punt returner and kick returner, because then Edelman comes back. Obviously, he's going to be the one who returns it. But, just think about, there's going to be a lot of bubble guys this year that they should make it. The Patriots have that every year. There's guys they cut and they let them go. And it's like, wow, they could have kept him. He definitely could do something.
And in my opinion, they had the biggest signing in the offseason, Jamie Collins. Signing Jamie Collins back, I think it was the biggest signing in the NFL this offseason.
Michael Bennett, though, too.
Too. That was a good
trade.
Their
defense this year is going to be the best in the NFL, and it's not just because of the backers and the guys up front. Their secondary is going to be the best in the NFL, and I'll tell you why.
Joejuan Williams.
Well, yeah, Joejuan Williams. Regardless, he's a 6'3" cornerback. Like, you take him every time, and I was.
Yeah, this is the Spike King's life, right?
Yeah.
AT&T spam rest. Thank you so much for interrupting that. I should have put it on silent.
But when you can get a 6'3" cornerback, you take him every time because he's
Well, the rules have changed now in the NFL, and it's the pass interference call.
Yeah, it's the pass interference call, and there's so many undersized cornerbacks now that when you have a 6'3" cornerback that can match up with a Julio Jones, it's really, really rare to find. And along with obviously Stephon Gilmore, I think he's
when they first signed him,
I think he's the best cornerback in the league this year.
When they first signed him, talking to both of you, how'd you feel about that signing? Because they gave him money and they paid him right away.
I thought they paid him too much.
Yeah, I honestly thought they paid him too much. Because reports coming out of Buffalo, it was like he has the athletic ability. Even Buffalo fans, people who are like non-biased, there's like I'm not even being biased. Like seeing him, he has the talent. He's just not disciplined, and he all that stuff. And I really thought it was like, oh geez. And then after his first year, he didn't really show up, and then he showed up in the playoffs, and they made that big play.
Jacksonville, he hit it down.
That big deflection. I was like, all right, yeah, he's really good.
And it was a good throw by Bortles on that play too.
Yeah,
that was just totally a great defensive play.
Yeah, he jumped.
I don't care who you are. I'll put a percentage out there. 95% of fans thought that was a bad signing. In terms of money, I can't believe you're giving that out. And Stephon Gilmore's play, because I'll give the 5% out there, because I know there are some people out there that have said, that's a good signing. You guys don't know what you have, and people are like,
2 seasons in a row. Look at the Jaguars game, and look at the Rams game this year. Look at the Super Bowl
in the
this
big
year.
moments, in those big moments.
He
like
steps
that.
up.
And,
he could have a question. He could have a questionable regular season, but he steps up.
Even in Super Bowl 52, he wasn't terrible either. Trust me, they were picking on other people because Malcolm Butler didn't play. That's a whole other story. Yeah. But now that Stephon Gilmore has that other guy, J.C. Jackson,
Jackson's going to be really good. That's another guy.
Jason McCourty, what another great addition there, because he killed it in Cleveland.
I always put Devin up there.
And now you just said, Joejuan Williams. Having him there. So you have those other guys next to Gilmore to complement him like Super Bowl 49. You had Revis and you had Browner. You had that duo right there.
Yeah.
You want to have that duo. Ty Law had, I can't think on the top of my head right now, but he had you have a complementary piece. You need to have a complementary piece with you. And that secondary.
Like Malcolm Butler, he was the guy that year, and then Logan Ryan, he's another solid cornerback.
Solid, yeah. Like Butler is not like the elite guy.
I mean that year he had a really good year. That 1 year where it was like him and Logan Ryan, and then after that he was like, yeah.
But it's kind of like this. You knew it was Revis and Browner. But Butler came in to make that big play. You want to have that third or fourth guy that can come in there and do something like that. Butler as the number one was not like he's not a true number one shutdown type of guy. But
Gilmore is.
Gilmore is because the next game. So in terms of Super Bowl 50, in terms of that season, the first game they played against the Steelers at home opener, and Butler got burnt by AB, all game. AB had 150 yards and a touchdown or something. Butler's close. Butler was close on a lot of plays. He had his hand there. He always has his hand there. Butler also got burnt, I believe, by Jermaine Kearse in Super Bowl 49.
And
don't forget that. Because they got kicked up and all this had happened. Because Butler's a little short. It's too short. He's got the heart. He's got the play. But it just shows you that it always needs to be a complementary piece. That's why I'm saying Gilmore's like a top
Gilmore's
one.
shut down.
Top
He
three.
is.
Top three, no arguments. You can make a case for number one. But then he has JC, he has McCourty, and now he's got Williams there as well, too. Who's going to be that other guy that kind of steps up? Because JC...
Is it Bill Belichick taking over the defense?
Yeah, he showed it last year.
Yeah.
Make defense great again. I think that Matt Patricia... I mean, it's kind of funny because look at that. They gave up 41 points in this other Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They've had times where they've given up too much, and then Belichick didn't name Flores as the defensive coordinator. You know, you knew Belichick's running that defense.
Yeah.
This upcoming year, they had Greg Schiano come in, which I feel that in some sort of conspiracy theorist way, he had Greg Schiano come in just for the draft. So he can be like, oh, well, he's technically on our team. He's on our payroll. We can get some inside sources for him. And then all of a sudden he's gone. Mm-hmm. And then who the hell is their defensive coordinator right now? Because they didn't even name it. It's got to be, what's his face? Is Gerard Mayo coming up now? Like, he's a linebacker.
Linebackers coach.
There's no defensive coordinator. It's
that's right. That's what I'm saying. I think
still
Bill
Belichick.
going to take over.
Yeah.
And Belichick has won... Belichick was the defensive coordinator for the Giants, like back in the day. He's the head coach for Cleveland. And Belichick was never an offensive guy. Belichick has always been defensive special teams.
Yep.
And that's like special teams. And shout out to Ryan Allen for last year's Super Bowl because the punting game was big for them to put him in position.
And that's why he got re-signed.
Underrated
and then they picked a punter.
They picked up a righty though. They picked up a righty.
Bailey,
But just again, their defense looks spectacular. Their special teams, one of the biggest special teams plays last year, even though they lost, was in Pittsburgh. It was the double tap. So they got down, they hit it out once, and they hit it out again. And just look that up. Look up Pittsburgh Patriots special teams play last year. That's what Belichick loves. Just looking at the draft, you guys wrote this out for me. Thank you for giving me some stats in front of my face so I'm not rambling on. Drafting has not been really up Belichick's forte because there's been times where he's picked some great guys.
High round draft picks have
high round draft picks.
His second, third, and fourth round
like a guy like Chase Winovich.
Spot
yes.
on.
So I'm just saying like right now, and it's not being biased and being that homer. It's like N'Keal Harry. You get him as a wide receiver. I'll be honest. I don't know much about N'Keal Harry. I did not know anything until that night. It's kind of funny because
their third rounder. Chase
Winovich.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
You got to look at N'Keal Harry. No one was talking about him before the draft. No one was talking about N'Keal Harry. All of a sudden, he gets picked by the Patriots. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is a great signing." Where were you? This is again the 5% to 95%. The 5% knew who N'Keal Harry was. Then you start looking at his play. The Belichick era has never drafted a wide receiver in the first round. You start seeing him like getting work with Brady. You start getting a little bit hyped up. Joe Juan Williams, you come here and hear out that, oh, wow, the Patriots got two guys they really wanted. Cornerback, he's a tall cornerback. The pass interference game has changed now. They want somebody out there. Another compliment to Gilmore, because now you're playing, Jason McCourty only has one more year left. Now you got Williams coming in. He can learn from some veterans. J.C. Jackson had rookie year last year. It's his second year. So now you have J.C. and Williams both competing for that second spot, pretty much. Because McCourty's got one more year. That's it.
Yeah.
We're lucky to even have the McCourtys coming back. You got Chase Winovich, defensive end out of Michigan.
I think he's a steal.
He's a steal right there. He's got that look that he's going to be a fan favorite.
He could be like a replacement because they lost Adrian Claiborne.
Somebody's going to step up for Adrian Claiborne. His look.
I like the Michigan thing too with Brady and James.
Yep.
Like there's just something there that I think that's going to happen.
I love Michigan defensive players. They're always
he's a big Michigan guy.
Almost every time they're just like really hardworking like players. Like you can really count on them to come up in big.
Winovich is not gonna put up on the stat board,
but he's a
guy that plays with heart.
Yep.
A guy that plays with heart, like a Rob Nick. There's a comparison to him and Rob Nikovich.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Nikovich never really showed up on the stats,
but he played with heart, like Nikovich.
He made such a
and
difference.
Nikovich should have been a 3-time champion if he stuck around a little bit longer. He would have been a 3-time champion. Just keep going down here. Damian Harris, the complimentary piece right there to what's the other Alabama running back because the Oakland Raiders took him. The other running back, other running back for Alabama.
Oh yeah.
Whatever his name is, I don't have it on the top of my head. Damian Harris, running back. Last year, you had Burkhead, you had James White, and you had Sony Michel. Right?
Jeremy Hill for like a couple games. But
you had you had a three-headed running back right there. You had Kenyon Barner come in there, whatever. Three-headed running back. Running backs, you can either have a Le'Veon Bell or a Todd Gurley, 3 down backs. That's only going to last you so far in the NFL.
Look at Todd Gurley already.
Todd Gurley in the Super Bowl. Where was he, dude? He was hurt by the time.
And he's looking to be hurt.
The tight. I just want to make a quick point about the tight end. I feel like the tight end is very like over hyped this season, saying like we're going to need a tight end. We're going to need a tight end. We need a tight end to block. We have so many I feel like everybody's like worried about our offense too. Our running back game is going to carry us through.
Because
those
you can have a James White with a dump pass and get you out there.
James White's a baller.
Those checkdowns won us. Won us a Super Bowl game against the Falcons.
51.
Those checkdowns really did.
And guess what happened in Super Bowl 51? Who was their tight end? It was Martellus Bennett. They didn't have Gronk.
And he was good that year, but he wasn't Gronk. Like he's not
Gronk. He was able to block though. Yeah. That's why I look at Ben Watson. I'm like, he's able to do both. Like he can catch it once in a while and get you out there.
He was the
Martellus Bennett had his big game. His coming out party was the Cleveland Browns game that year.
Yeah,
and he had like 3 touchdowns, and he didn't like do much in the rest of the season. But I also know that Brady loved Martellus Bennett. Because Super Bowl 51, the first throw in the end zone to win the game was to Martellus Bennett. He wanted to get him in like on a fade in the corner.
I remember that
in the end zone. Again, going down Harris. So here's the thing: is that last year Sony killed it in the first couple games. They gave him a lot of reps in that Detroit game. So I remember sitting in that Detroit game. I was there and sitting in the front row and like, why are they handing the ball to him? Well, because Sony got hurt prior to that, and they're just trying to feed him the ball a little bit because they want him to get used to the game. And people get frustrated. And Sony got yelled at by Brady because there was a play where he threw it to him and he dropped it. He had a couple drops in that game. Burkhead got hurt during the middle of the season. James White, they saved him. They knew they had to save him. When we got into the Pittsburgh game, Burkhead was plowing through the defensive line. You saw that. You saw James White. You know what James White's going to do. You saw Sony 3 touchdowns against the Chargers. You knew that 3-headed monster is better than just having one guy that you have to rely on.
Yeah.
And I think that goes. It just makes everything a lot better right there.
I think that's the key into to having like a really good.
That's why I like
running back core. Like I know like the Falcons obviously lost the Super Bowl, but that year the reason that the running game was so good, and the reason like both of the Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman both had good stats because they were both next to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way the modern NFL has to run their running backs. You need a second guy next to your star running back.
If you love fantasy football, the first couple guys that are taken off the board are running backs, and they're always those 3-down backs, like a Le'Veon Bell, a Zeke Elliott. But there's only so many miles that can go on these guys. Yeah. These guys don't last.
So when you pick them, you got to worry. When are they going to start hitting them?
Yeah.
When is the chances they get hurt? And like I picked Zeke Elliott I think I had the 4th pick in my league, and I picked Zeke Elliott, and in my head I'm like, all right, when do I got to start worrying about this guy going down?
Yeah.
It's usually those guys, those workhorses. You always
that's cool. They're going to have great regular seasons, but when it comes down to it in the Super Bowl championship game, like where's your top running back? And just even look in the last 5 to 6 years. You know,
it's been the quarterback.
It's been quarterback. Like look at Super Bowl 50 with the Denver Broncos. Von Miller was the MVP for them. You look at just even in Super Bowl 51, like James White's not a 3-down back. Like James White, like actually I should have been the MVP.
He should have been the MVP.
But Marshawn Lynch is kind of a 3-down back. But is he truly a 3-down, like an ultimate 3-down back? He really isn't. They should have, and if he was, they would have ran the ball with him at that point. They should have ran the ball. Super Bowl 49. But and then Super Bowl 52, like they're running back. It's not like they didn't have a 3-down back. I don't know. I just feel that you have to have multiple backs that are pretty good, and it's also good for payment. Look at Le'Veon Bell and the money that the New York Jets are paying him. You're paying him top dollar. You're paying him. I did this comparison on Instagram. It's like the 3 backs that they have between Burkhead, James White, and Sony Michel is way less money than what you're paying just Le'Veon Bell to do. And now you're rotating guys, fresh legs all the time. But just moving forward in the draft, you have Kajus coming in from West Virginia, and you have, I can't even say this guy's name, but from Arkansas. So Kajus, like we just talked about the offensive line. You bring in a rookie in, he starts learning under Scarnecchia. He might not make any impact right away, but someone that you can rotate in that offensive line in round 3. And then you got Jarrett Stidham. I'm going to have Auburn, quarterback. Now you're starting to position yourself for the post-Brady era,
Yep.
just in case between from him and Etling.
I think next year. I think he could be good, but I think next year is going to be the draft where we really draft a quarterback.
I don't think
like a third or maybe second rounder, like we spend on a cornerback.
I don't think so.
So they have 4 quarterbacks right now. Brian Hoyer is going to stay with them one more season. I thought they were going to get rid of Hoyer, but he's going to stick around for one more season.
Etling.
He's a free agent. You got Etling and
now there's Stidham.
I gotta get used to this. I'm terrible at names.
Stidham.
I'm learning right now. I'm learning how to pronunciate. Right now, I just feel that Brady is going to still outlast these guys. He's still going to outlast Stidham. He's still going to outlast Etling. I still think that Brady plays 5 more seasons as long as he stays healthy. And I actually think that if Brady got hurt for some God forbidden reason, he still comes back and plays. I just think that something with Brady and that mindset, he's playing until he's 50.
Yeah, it's something in his mind.
I think we're going to go through it. We're going to go, and you're going to quote me on this 5 years from now when you look back on this podcast, and you're going to be like, wait, I need to find out when Spike King said that, because it's going to be similar to Brissett.
And he said it right here.
Garoppolo. So the same thing's going to end up happening, and like 5 years from now when these guys are ready to be free agents, and like, do we sign them, do we stay? But Brady's been playing pretty good. Like, we don't know what to do. I think that every year they definitely should be looking at quarterbacks just in case to keep out there. I think next year there is a good quarterback class out there next year.
Definitely a better
maybe
one.
they have somebody.
I think if the Pats were smart, they should go for a third or maybe.
But when do you give up on Brady? Because Brady's
giving you no reason to.
You can never do it.
I don't think you can. I think it's like
he's not retiring. He can go there and lose the next 3 Super Bowls in a row. He's not retiring if he goes to 3 straight Super Bowls and loses them all. He's never just going to be like, I'm stepping away. He literally said, I'm playing till I suck, and he will play till he sucks. When is that going to be? If the Patriots go 9-7 with Tom Brady at the helm, Brady still says, hey, I still have it. We're 9-7. We're over 500. Brady will start. Peyton Manning's season, for an example, when they won Super Bowl 50, Manning sucked.
Brock Osweiler got them there.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning
and Manning was a good game manager.
All he did was in the postseason. He managed the game, and he didn't turn the ball over. He had 1 interception.
And guess who won the Super Bowl MVP was Von Miller. Was a defensive guy. So Brady,
even a guy like Malik Jackson,
if Brady wins a Super Bowl and he knows that he doesn't have it anymore, then that's it. Now you look at last Super Bowl. It was defense that won that championship, but Brady killed it in the AFC title game. Brady killed it. I feel like there was an undisclosed injury last year towards the end of the season based on the Pittsburgh game that something was wrong with Brady, because then the next week they came out and they just ran the ball. They just stuffed it down the Bills' throats. The Jets game, which I believe was the last game of the season, everyone came out and was like, oh, Brady doesn't have it. He slung the ball around. Then he had a week off. He plays against the Chargers, slung the ball around.
There's a couple of games where people like after the games will be like, oh, Brady's showing his age. He's not slinging the rock like he used to. But they say that anytime Brady has an off game. Anytime. He could have 3 bad throws. Oh, Brady's not the same anymore. He's not throwing the ball like he used to.
This season, I won't lie. I had my doubts about Brady, just like I usually do, because it's nearing that time where it could happen at any moment, just like anybody in anybody's career. But when I kept seeing him later in the season, I was like, he's healthy though. That's the thing. He's healthy, and if you can get Brady to the playoffs, like I said in episodes before, you can get Brady to the playoffs, you have a chance to win it all, because that's all Brady needs is a chance. It really is.
If you get Brady in the playoffs, there's no telling where you're going to stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and just thinking about
if you get him to the playoffs, it's AFC.
Not even Brady and Belichick.
Brady and Belichick, I know.
It's an AFC appearance. 98% of the time.
The only rare times is say when they played the Ravens and they put up 3 touchdowns right away against them in their house.
I don't know why the Ravens have always given them that.
Like something like that, or the Billy Cundiff he missed a field goal. But even the Denver Broncos game, it came down to a 2-point conversion in in the Patriots.
With the Gostkowski, Gostkowski had missed that extra point.
A thing where Brady had the opportunity, or he's playing in Denver. It's very hard to play there. It's really hard on the road. Last year was so great because they had to go into Kansas City and win that game, and they never really go on the road for an AFC title game.
Never.
And they went in there, and last year was kind of a shut up to the doubters and saying hey, I still have it.
All these hypebeasts saying, oh, Mahomes is the next big deal. He's going to take down Brady. just does it again.
I give credit to Mahomes. Like, Mahomes is a beast, man. Funny story here. So I met Pat Mahomes during right before the Super Bowl. Yeah, I met him.
With Travis Kelce?
It was the Travis Kelce story. So on top of that, I was at the Shaq's Funhouse last year during the Super Bowl week, and I talked about this on the other podcast, the Red Sox All-Star Game. If you could go to the Super Bowl week, I didn't go to the Super Bowl last year. I didn't go inside the game. I wasn't going to spend a couple of grand to get in there.
You had a watch party, right?
I went to a bunch of watch parties. I went to the after party. I was
honestly all the things outside of the Super Bowl is almost
it's worth it. It's so worth it to go out there because you never know. The Shaq's Funhouse. So I'll tell you this: it's $500 to get in there, right? And you're like, oh, that's $500 is a lot of money. Again, plan accordingly. Like, they release tickets 5 months in advance. You can save up for these things. We get in there. It was me and Corey. Shout out to our boy Shane Messler because he was the one that helped us get in there as well too. He great connection there. But so the Kansas City Chiefs were up in the VIP area they were up in the VIP area during the event. Me and GRD, we know what we got to do. We got to sneak around. If you heard it on the Red Sox podcast, I gave a little information on what to do. Go listen to that one because I can tell you what you got to do. I'm up there because of the tattoo. I was all over NFL Network. Travis Kelce saw me.
What was it? Who was it on NFL Network that you were going back and forth?
Oh, Nate Burleson.
Nate Burleson.
Yeah. Come at me, bro. But met Travis Kelce. Now I'm not showing the tattoo. I'm just there. I don't have any eye black on. I'm just doing me. And Travis Kelce came to me and saw me and was like, "Hey, bro, like I've seen you all around. Like, you start getting recognition." Look over to my right. Pat Mahomes is there. And I just and it's swamped up there.
Crazy.
It's swamped. It's like, you're sardines. You're trying to go in between each other. Saw Pat Mahomes. I wiggled my way, and I'm a big guy. I wiggled my way in there, got in there, went up to Pat Mahomes. And it's kind of crazy because I'm 27, turning 28 soon. Pat Mahomes is like 22, 23 years old. Go up to him. Hey, congratulations, man. You earned MVP this year. You are the MVP. You had a crazy season. I'm a Pats fan. You gave these guys a hard time. I said the AFC title game. It was a coin flip away, man. Like, if you guys
won that coin flip, won the game.
If KC got that coin flip, I think they would have won.
I think they would have too.
Because no defense.
I don't. The two arguments I don't like about that game are when people are saying, "Oh, Patriots are so lucky. Patriots are so lucky." Like, oh, they won the coin toss and that's why you won the game, or the rule is Mahomes doesn't get a second chance. So it's like, dude, that's how the rules are.
That's what the rules are.
And that's that's why Belichick is such a good coach, because he's been doing it for so long. He's gone around the rules. Like, he's gone within the rules but around them at the same time. And he's like, everybody thinks it's cheating, but it's really not. No. Even with Spygate, literally plenty of coaches and plenty of players, we filmed plays all the time. Like, we recorded other teams' plays all the time. And the only difference between them and us is that we got caught and they didn't. That's literally the only difference.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Everyone does it. It's just like they want to go against the Patriots. But let me finish the story here. Mahomes? But Mahomes, when I watched him from afar, Mahomes looked devastated. Like, he is down there at the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and he was just like, and it's a big party. Travis Kelce's having a good time. Mahomes is like, dude,
this is during the Super Bowl?
Yeah, during the Super Bowl week. It was 3 days beforehand. It was or 2 days beforehand. It was Friday night. So 2 days beforehand, and Mahomes, you can tell on his face, he's like, dude, I was like, one drive away from coming here to the Super Bowl, not enjoying the parties and stuff like that because you're focused on the game.
About you.
And that's what I like about Mahomes. I think he's not one of those other quarterbacks that folds and then just goes he's plotting in his head is I'm going.
I love that. I think he will be back there one day.
Yeah. I think that he's going to be in the playoffs this year. I think he's going to be. You disagree with that?
So let me finish this story.
Yeah, finish it up.
I saw Mahomes. I went up to him. I congratulated him. Good job. He was drinking a Coors Light, by the way. Just it's probably his brand of beer because I think I saw him do that during the St. Louis Blues series and stuff like that. But anyways. He was drinking a beer, he was talking, said, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, thank you so much. He's a Kermit Kermit voice there. Thank you, whatever it is. And then I went to Spike King mode, because then I lifted up my shirt and I said, but Mahomes, let me tell you something. I had this tattoo since August, and you guys were not winning this. I can tell you Mahomes did not like that. he's super wounded. You can tell he was just like, I don't want to be here. I'm with my team, and I just threw tons of salt, kosher salt, right into those wounds right there. And I just like literally said, the Pats are winning the Super Bowl, and he was not happy about that. So Pat Mahomes, if you're ever listening out there, I apologize for that, but I just want to let you know it was my year, not your year. We're going into next year right now. Pat Mahomes. It was technically his rookie season, not his rookie season last year. It was his first year as a starter.
Yes.
Tons of film on him, and look at Kansas City right now. Tyreek Hill's going through something right now with his domestic abuse.
And those are reports saying that he could be suspended within the month.
He's done. He should be done. They don't have the running back over there, Kareem Hunt anymore. They've lost a couple defensive players. I think they lost G. Ford.
To Seattle.
Yeah, which G. Ford made that one mistake against the Patriots.
But they did just land Tyrann Mathieu, right?
Yeah, they did. But I still feel that in that division, that the Chargers had a great season last year, dude. They were road warriors.
That was their only chance
That was
Philip Rivers' only chance to win a title.
They're still a wild card team. They're still going to be fighting over there. I still believe in them. Oakland Raiders, dude. Oakland Raiders. They have been making moves. I believe in Gruden. I think last year...
I believe in Gruden. I don't believe in Derek Carr.
Derek Carr did not throw an interception the last 12 games
I don't think Derek Carr's that guy.
Derek Carr in 2016, and I have it in my phone right now because my buddy, Dan Jolly, who was a big Raiders fan, sent it to me. Derek Carr was in the MVP conversation the year Matt Ryan won it in Super Bowl 51.
That was before he tore his ACL, though.
Yes, or not his. It was his arm or something like that.
It was something.
Leg. He broke a leg or something like that.
Yeah, he broke his leg.
Derek Carr led the Raiders to a playoff.
Connor Cook started and they got blown out.
Yeah,
if I remember that.
I'm just saying that the Raiders, you gotta believe in the Raiders, and they've been making moves. They got the other Alabama guy over there that is supposed to be their running back. They're moving on from Marshawn Lynch. They have Antonio Brown. They have a young defensive team. They made some good moves in the NFL draft.
They made some huge moves this offseason,
Think about this. The LA Rams just played in the Super Bowl. Great for them because they're about to hit into that new stadium. They need that fan base. They need that out there.
They're struggling out there. They're struggling to get it.
Maybe that's why the pass interference call gets happened by the NFL because, they need to make sure the Saints, Saints, you've had your time. We need to make sure the LA Rams are there for eyeballs.
And I saw on your account this morning, Brady Brees Super Bowl. It's bound to happen. I totally agree, and I think it's this year.
I think
it has to happen this year.
It's got to happen this year. I think it's going to be the Raiders and Patriots that happen.
The Raiders in the AFC Championship
title game.
No way.
AFC title game. Raiders and Patriots, and I think it's going to be the Saints and Patriots in the Super Bowl. It's got to have at least Breeze or the Rodgers.
I think
Rodgers
Saints,
and Brady.
I don't think Rodgers can win the division again. I don't think he'll go through Chicago. I just don't think. I can't see it.
So Rodgers' big fault was McCarthy.
I think he's gonna. Now that McCarthy's gone, I think he's gonna have a real bounce back year, and I think they're gonna bring in an actual modern offense because with McCarthy,
Matt LaFleur is gonna bring that with.
They kept running this freaking offense that they just didn't. They didn't use Jimmy Graham at all. Jimmy Graham's a great receiving tight end, and the Packers have been stuck in this like '80s type of offense where it's just like pound the ball, don't use your tight end. And it's basically just wasting Aaron Rodgers' career in Green Bay because like he should be Patrick Mahomes, like that type of play because he's mobile like Patrick Mahomes and he can sling it further than anybody in the league. He on the run and his I just think his audibles, his ability to draw people off sides is the best I've ever seen.
I just think they're gonna struggle with Chicago in that division. I think Chicago's.
It's really their defense.
I don't believe in Trubisky yet.
But I believe in Matt Nagy and I believe in that defense. And I think Jordan Howard's a big loss because Jordan Howard accompanied Tariq Cohen really well. I don't think Tariq Cohen can be a 3-down back. I don't see it. That's why I think that Jordan.
They got to get someone else in there to.
Jordan Howard.
Offense wins games. Defense wins championships. What's that offense going to do to win regular season games?
Again, Trubisky showed up sometimes. He showed up against the Patriots. They couldn't get it done, but he showed up. He played well.
I said this after that Kansas City game, Week 6. I was on the sideline of the field, and I said, offense wins games. Like they beat that Kansas City team, and they won that game, whatever it was, like 43-40, whatever it was in the regular season. But defense wins championships, and the Pats defense won that championship in the Super Bowl.
Rams.
Like every so often. The Bears are going to have to put up more than 24 points or 30 points to compete with other teams because sometimes your defense has a bad game.
Yeah.
If you're just a defensive team, that's only going to get you so far. You have to put up that offense. I don't think Trubisky has it. I don't think the Bears have it.
I don't think the Packers' defense is all that though. That's the
No,
thing.
I agree
That's
with
why
you,
I
too.
think the Bears are the threat in the.
That whole division though is always up for grabs.
Always.
Between the Vikings, like the Vikings
And if Kirk Cousins, I mean, I wasn't really that big on Kirk Cousins in Washington.
he's like a 500 ball player. Dude.
Against teams with the winning record is
something-
it's
he's-
awful.
he's
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And I wasn't big on him. I think he's way up. He robbed the Vikings. I think he's way overpaid. But, you can never count that team out. You can't count that defense out. He's got Stephon Diggs. Adam Thielen's coming up to be that guy. Kyle Rudolph just resigned.
Yep.
Even look at Dalvin Cook. Mm-hmm. Like, he played well this year, coming off that ACL. He played well before the ACL injury. You just can't count anyone out in that division. Even, I don't even want to count out Detroit, because Matt Stafford sometimes can hang around there.
Nope. I am not a Matt Stafford guy. I've never been a Matt Stafford guy. Again, another comp to Russell Westbrook. It's really Matt Stafford's the perfect comp to Russell Westbrook. He can't do anything in the regular. He can do everything in the regular season. He'll put up he's had so many 4,000-yard seasons. And he just doesn't do anything.
Well, Detroit won their Super Bowl last year, anyways. I mean, they beat the Patriots.
That was their Super Bowl.
That was that's their Super Bowl.
You saw Patricia getting all the hugs, the pencil falling out of his ear.
Patricia needed that, and I think Belichick threw it to him because they were 0-2 heading into that game, and it was like a must-win for Detroit Lions. So Detroit's is a city of losers, to be honest. I just think they'll never do anything. Stafford's a great guy. I mean, this is a passing league nowadays too, so he's got the arm to do it. But I just think he'll never win the big one like that.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the stomach for it. And another point about Detroit, they wasted. Why can't I think of his name?
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson and
Marvin Jones.
The running back, 90s.
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. They wasted Barry Sanders' career and they wasted Calvin Johnson's career. Arguably two of the best at their positions all time.
Yep.
And the fact that you couldn't win a playoff game with Calvin Johnson amazes me. He
was a cheat code.
He really
He
was.
was.
It was him and Reggie Wayne.
But how about Randy Moss? You couldn't win a Super Bowl with him.
But at least you went to the Super Bowl.
I know,
you couldn't even win a playoff game. You couldn't even win a
Yeah.
playoff game with Calvin Johnson. Never mind going to the Super Bowl.
But that's why it's it's a team game. It's three
Football is the
phases.
ultimate team sport. You need everyone
Ultimate
clicking.
team sport,
You
man.
need all the offensive
Defense,
line, everything,
offense,
special teams, everything from the long snapper to the quarterback, the holder, the kickoff to kick the field
offense
goals.
gets the much love like they deserve. And you know what I hate? Is that when you go to the after party again? This is my first time going to do anything like this, and it's the after party. So you're in this room and there's there's a concert going on, all the players around you and their family and friends. And who's the three guys that are not down there in the trenches with all the players? It's Tom Brady, it's Rob Gronkowski, and it's Julian Edelman, the offense. Wait a minute. You guys didn't really win the Super Bowl. It was your defense and special teams.
Yeah.
The guys that are down there, with everybody else. So I just think it's kind of funny how I think fantasy football ruins the way we view football. Because
and I love fantasy football, but you're right. You're completely right.
I'm big into we call it Legends of Lawtown with me and GRD and a couple other guys. T-Guns as well, too. And last year, I was going into it because I knew I was doing Spike King stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to pay attention to fantasy football. You just care about offense. You care about offense. Last year, a lot of people, when they won 13-3, people were like, oh, it's a defensive game. It's not that great. Dude, that was a great game. That was a great game because it was defense. It's part of football there, dude. Special teams and defense. It's important
part of football.
We talked about this in our last episode. We were saying how that Super Bowl this year, I wasn't a big fan of it. He loved it. In the Super Bowl, I want to see points. That's just me being a hype.
Yeah, but if you're into baseball and people like pitcher duels, 1-0, it's the same thing. That's what defense is.
That's what I love seeing Chris Sale throw 17 strikeouts and
But then again, I'm a hypocrite because of a baseball fan of casual ham. I want to see home runs and I want to see scoring. So I will say that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It depends on what you view. If you've been watching football for a while and you're really invested,
I love football. Football is my favorite sport, but.
I get it. The big games, you want to see that intense.
I don't want to see a regular season game 13-3. That's
that would suck.
But the Super Bowl is a completely different. That's every play is a big play that can.
If you ever played football, you appreciate watching the defense because the defense it's really art to watch. Flores, stopped that Flores and Belichick stopped that incredible offense.
I mean, that offense, we're averaging 28 points a game, I think.
It was close.
Shut him down.
Close to 30.
Shut him down.
Shut him down.
Scored 3 points.
I'm pretty sure there's some guy in Vegas that bet whatever amount of money, and he got $1 million out of betting a pretty short amount of money. Betting it would be 10-3, or the Rams wouldn't score over 3 points. I want to look that up. What the stat was before going in that game.
So great story here. Speaking about winning money, I know Ty Law a little bit. Got very lucky to meet him through social media. He was new to it. Same thing with Teddy Bruschi, and I did that after the Super Bowl 52 loss. I saw some of these guys during that time, like Ty Law and Teddy, that I grew up on. That I was like, these guys are in their Pats Hall of Famers. Ty Law, shout out to him. He's going to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Yeah. I'll be out there in Canton to go root on him for him. But I got to see Ty on Saturday, the day before the Super Bowl. And we just talked about this last night on the Boston Big 3 podcast for Ride the Wave Media. Is that, a fun story is that Corey asked Ty, who do you think the MVP is going to be? And he started talking about Julian Edelman. It's going to be Julian Edelman for these reasons. Our other buddy that wanted to meet Ty said, dude, I put $200 on Julian Edelman to win $10,000. Ty was pulls out his wallet. Yo, here's $200, dude. And he goes, no, I'll just do it for you, dude, because I love you and I respect you, this and that. And Julian Edelman won the MVP that game.
They didn't have an answer for him.
And they didn't, because he kept getting those first downs. He kept moving the chains. He kept doing all this. And then I actually posted something recently, and it was before and it was actually, I believe it was NFL Throwback, and it was all the highlights of Julian Edelman in the postseason minus the Super Bowl 53. And Edelman he's great, dude. It's great that he's getting up there in age.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
His clutch ability is
but he's
second
so
to
clutch
none.
in those moments, and he's literally. We're very lucky in New England to have someone like Edelman. That's what Wes Welker should have been, type of deal.
Yeah. The thing I will say about that Wes Welker play, I blame Brady a little bit because that was a bad throw. That was
a little high.
That was
a short receiver.
That was a throw where. If you're Wes, you're a slot receiver. You're not Julio. You're not supposed to go up and get that ball. It's supposed to be, it's in that little wedge. But he had to turn around, come up, and then jump up.
You're a wide receiver. Be ready for that at all times.
Well, no, of course, but we are
built on perfection here. When Brady goes 10 for 10 and then he throws one bad pass, we start yelling, "What the hell!" Like it's a regular season game, and you're like, "Oh,
and they'll be up 30."
I just hated that everybody was trashing on Wes Welker. I was like, do you realize what he's been for that team up to that?
No,
he was
absolutely.
Julian Edelman before Julian Edelman. He was a phenomenal receiver. And I remember reading a story after he dropped that pass. Some person sent a box of Butterfingers to his house. And I was like, wow.
Not even only that, but I'm pretty sure there's a video of Giselle coming out.
Giselle did
Giselle was got to keep
she said something she was like, oh, my husband can't do it all.
Yeah.
He can't throw and catch.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Your husband didn't catch the ball in
the
Super Bowl 52.
Yeah.
Karma comes around at some point, so that's probably why you end up missing that.
That was a weird play call.
I mean, they did that against the Eagles before, in a
and it scored. It went for 40 yards. I remember this. It was at Gillette. Yeah,
it was a great play, dude, because Brady was wide open. It was just
ran out
that
40
game
yards.
was just always a little too short.
What is it with Boston athlete wives? I mean, first it's Giselle, and now it's freaking Gordon Hayward's wife.
Yeah,
complaining about coming to Boston or whatever. I don't know.
The grind behind the grind, man. They got to speak up some. They got to speak up some points. But you know what? I want to talk about two wide receivers too, and that is Philip Dorsett, number one. Dorsett coming back on a 1-year deal for $2.5 million. It's a prove it year. This guy's a former first round pick. The Colts should have never picked him, by the way. I don't know why they picked him.
Yeah.
But Dorsett didn't get a lot of love because of a guy I'm about to talk about in a second. But at the end of the season, towards the playoffs, Dorsett actually did really well.
He did play well.
He started getting some trust from Brady. This is a year that Dorsett's going to look at himself, how do I get paid the following season? Dorsett's only going to be on the Pats for one more year. Dorsett will have a good season. He's done. He's going to go get paid somewhere. That's fine. That's cool. He's a Super Bowl champion. He can go do what he's got to do. I'm rooting for Dorsett. Again, there's a lot of offensive guys out there. There's a lot of weapons for Brady. The other one's Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon, we don't know what's going to happen yet. He's still on the NFL exempt list. Josh Gordon's gained a lot of trust with Brady to a point that
They were
even if
working out
Josh
together,
Gordon
right?
never plays it down again in the NFL, he will be a Super Bowl champion. The Pats gave him a ring, and he still has Brady's respect. I think last year when they brought Josh Gordon in,
I loved it. I loved it.
Loved it. But Brady looked at Josh Gordon's way too many times.
He did.
Looked at
Yeah,
him like that Randy Moss.
It really was. It was almost like kind of like Gordon Hayward. Like they were force feeding him like passes.
Exactly. And then you got a guy like Dorsett that's not getting looks. You got a guy like Chris Hogan. That's not getting a look when he's wide open. Hey, I'm out here. I'm going to catch it. And it's like, I'm going to feed it through a tight window.
You think that's going to be a big loss for
them?
them? Chris Hogan?
No.
No.
They'll be all set. I mean, I like Chris Hogan. I
Hogan-
like what he did here, and he came in here, and I just think he never really truly gelled
He's
with Brady.
replaceable. He's like Brandon LaFell.
Yeah, he's replaceable.
I think so, too.
He had some big plays. It is again, LaFell had some big plays as well too, but it was a guy that just like he was open a lot of times, and it just never worked out. But my thing with Josh Gordon, it could either be the best thing that's for the Patriots, or it could be the worst thing. I'd rather see Josh Gordon stay out one more year. Why do you say that? Well, because I'd rather see Philip Dorsett on a contract year do really well. I'd rather see Edelman get one more year because he only has a couple years left in the league. Josh Gordon is still kind of a rookie. He's still kind of a young guy.
And then you even got like a guy like Demaryius Thomas, maybe that he's up there in age.
But I'm just saying, in terms of the future,
Gordon's legs are pretty fresh. He's never been.
He's not done a lot.
Not using them.
No.
Josh Gordon, N'Keal Harry could be that 1-2 punch in 2 years from now. And Brady's still playing at his age.
Instead of sitting out for the entire season and waiting until the last 4 weeks, have Brady do like the first half thing. If you're winning by the first half, take him out.
Yeah.
But like get him some reps towards Josh Gordon and save him for the playoffs, because Josh Gordon in the playoffs, he's never been to the playoffs before fully healthy or able to play.
But what
I
I'm
think
saying
he's going to be big.
I'm worried that he might look at Josh Gordon like sticking your hand in the cookie jar too many times.
Too much.
Yeah.
I
think the last 4 weeks. I think the last 4 weeks, the season will pretty much be all but decided at that point. So
the last 4 weeks of the season,
those last 4 weeks, you're allowed
after
to force
KC,
feed
after
players like that.
Yeah.
You're allowed.
I think
to
the Kansas City
players.
game. I think Kansas City game. It's fourth to last. I think the Kansas City game that'll have playoff implications, and then after that, I think Cincinnati, Buffalo, Miami.
Yeah,
that's
Buffalo,
Miami. Play around.
Well, that was great last year when they played Buffalo. Again, it's the same exact time this season when they played that Buffalo game, and they literally ran it down their throats nonstop.
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
worked on your run game going into the playoffs.
That's exactly.
And
what
you kind of knew what was going to work. You knew formations that were going to work, like this and that. Because Buffalo, Miami at that time are not going to be playoff.
They're going to be able to mess around with Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Miami.
Yeah, they're going to be. Because Cincinnati's going to be the worst team in the league this upcoming year.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City that has playoff implications. Everything else.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because if you look at it and just break it down really quick in terms of September football, those first 4 games, those are going to be preseason games. Then you look at the last December games, the 15th, 21st, the 29th. Those are like preseason for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like those are things that you can, like you said, force feed certain guys, go to certain guys, work on certain blocking, because those 3 games are going to be layups. They're going to be easy W's.
And it can't be like a thing where it was last year where we go like what was it, like 11 games this season we won, or was it 10?
11-5.
Yeah, 11. It can't be like that this season. You have to win the games you're supposed to win, just like the Red Sox. Win the games you're supposed to win, so you can prep players that aren't allowed to play in the beginning of the season, like Josh Gordon, so you can get them ready for the playoffs, because you obviously can't play them the entire season. So
here's another common debate that I've been seeing: who's going to play more games, Gronk, Gordon, or Demaryius Thomas?
That's
another
great.
one I've been seeing about.
Great.
I've been seeing that one a bunch.
Yeah.
I wonder what the odds for that are.
I think it's Gronk.
Demaryius Thomas is going to get cut if he doesn't
he's going to get cut.
Is he even healthy yet?
No, he's coming off that torn Achilles still.
I think he's going to be.
He tore his Achilles late in the season with Houston.
I think it's going to be like another Jordy Nelson type of thing where you just cut him.
There's no way they're going to carry him the entire season on that roster.
way.
I think it's going to be Gronk.
It's just that's what I'm saying about OTAs and then OTAs he wasn't there, and then training camp, and then all of a sudden it's the preseason.
He tore his Achilles and think it was between.
They're going to cut him, dude.
Yeah,
if he's not ready for preseason, cut him. There's no reason to hold on to someone like him Or cut
Especially
like a Braxton Berrios, where it's like...
Yeah.
Especially when you have so many guys down the line, like a Josh Gordon,
Yeah.
all the guys you drafted too, like all the in previous
They've carried
years.
guys like Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco in the past, and that
Ochocinco,
never
yep.
worked out for
Yeah.
them. I mean, he played in the Super Bowl and had a catch in the Super Bowl, but it's like, dude, like, don't you'd rather have that position for someone else, like a lineman that might get hurt, and then you have someone that's backed up
Bring
and
right
brings them
up,
in
yep.
there. That's a great like
That's
poll
what-
question
yeah.
right there of like who's going to have more plays, because Gronk does have the chance to come back. We don't even know about Gordon. We don't know about Demaryius Thomas.
And Gronk's just so that's just a
And the
judgment
thing with
call.
Demaryius Thomas is he's only a couple $100,000, and then if they cut him, it doesn't cost you anything. If you keep him, it costs you $6 million.
Yeah.
So if you cut him, now you have because now you're tying up $6 million on him. Now you have $6 million to give to somebody else out there during the
Yeah.
season at some point.
Yeah,
That is a good debate question, though. I think.
definitely.
I think that, like you said it earlier, I just saw it right in front of me. That Michael Bennett trade was a steal.
Yeah, and what I like about Michael Bennett trade is that, dude, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I remember at the time it was like he actually had a really good season last year. He had 2 good seasons in a row.
He did. He played less games and almost had as many sacks as
Kinda-
Trey Flowers.
I wish Martellus came back. I really do. Like
That'd be cool to have
It
both
would have had
brothers.
great to have both Bennetts, but Martellus on the low is going to be at a lot of those games, and he's going to be rooting for the Patriots.
Yeah.
He might be coming in and giving them advice too to anybody.
The thing with Martellus was like he was, I think it was on his Instagram or like whatever. I don't remember. I remember hearing about it. He was like smoking
Yeah,
blunts,
he's
like
smoking weed,
openly,
yeah.
and like the NFL can't do shit about it because
No.
he's not in the NFL. He's not signed to any team. But like I think it was like something like that. Also with Ben Watson, when they signed him, I think he had to have gone to Bill. And he's like,
Yeah, so that came out
listen,
too, yeah.
yeah, like listen, I've been on like like whatever performance enhancement.
But
or whatever.
didn't he get hurt in the AFC Championship game?
Yeah, that's
That's
why
why
he
he
was
took-
just he was
That's
rebuilding
not
his
bad,
body.
which
He's like,
is
listen,
fine.
I'm gonna be
And he was
suspended
retired
the first
at the
4
But
games.
look at someone like Edelman, right? That guy got hurt and tore an ACL, and he was probably taking whatever he was taking. Not going to get into it, and he got suspended the 4 games. It's almost like people I know people could be Peddleman. They make fun of it,
Yeah.
PEDs or whatever. But if you get hurt like that and you're an athlete, you should be taking something to just kind of get you back up to that
Like
level.
Peyton Manning and HGH. That neck
That's
injury
why
was
his forehead
serious.
gets so big every single year, dude. Like I think it has actually been shrinking since he's been retired.
and anybody who says Peyton Manning didn't do PEDs after that neck injury is just
I'm a huge
stupid.
Peyton Manning fan, and I will tell you, he totally did it.
Hot take here that has nothing to do with the NFL, but you want to talk about PEDs in Boston. David Ortiz was definitely on something too at some point. So
I agree.
Just telling you guys,
His last
that-
that's what I was saying. I was like, there's no way he's doing this good as last season. Like, there's no way.
No, there's and he was on that A-Rod list when A-Rod got caught. He was on that list at some point, and they like really just put it right down. If the media, media controls a lot. But I think he was on something. I'm just gonna say.
I think it's because everybody loved David Ortiz. They don't want to
Yeah, no. I mean, what he does, and like he's still like PD doesn't make you a great hitter, right? But it
Makes
just
you strong.
It's about your body.
Yeah.
It's about your body and
it makes you
rejuvenate yourself.
and that's another thing. Like,
PDs doesn't make Edelman catch the fucking ball like
Yeah,
every single
it's
time or
instinct.
whatever. Yes, it's instinct. It's about being that player. It's situational awareness.
because there's these huge dudes who go to the gym and is like, oh, I wonder how he would do that defensive end. He'd probably do terrible because he probably does not have the instinct.
He doesn't have it, dude. He doesn't have it. It's like DK Metcalf, like or whatever. Like
DK. I'm
Like-
excited to see
Oh,
him.
no,
I don't think
he has physical instinct.
I don't think he's going to do shit in Seattle, but I'm excited to see him.
I think
play.
he's going to be. I mean,
from the stats I saw, he was only out there like maybe like 3 plays a game. Or
I mean
something
that
like
that physical domino play. I think you give him a chance. Like especially in the 3rd round. Like you might as well just like flip a coin.
Oh, come on. He had
especially the receivers. Russell
he
Wilson
went crazy
had,
at the combine.
If he
You
can,
got to give the guy a shot.
Combine. Yeah, no, you have to give him a shot because at the combine,
I don't think he's going to
you
do
don't know
anything, though. I just think
Yeah,
he's going to be...
You never know. He could pick it up. He's got to pick it up. He's got to learn it. It's like Taco Fall, dude. The guy's like a string bean at 7'7". If he can start picking things up,
I think he
and
can
start
learn a
getting
lot from
muscle,
Doug Baldwin because
you
he's
start learning.
a great route runner. He's a really underrated route runner actually, and he's kind of been labeled as more like the go up and get it.
I'm very interested to see what Seattle does this year because they're always a bubble playoff team.
They always
They're
hang
there.
around. They
They're
always
there, and this could be Russell Wilson's kind of final years going in here and everything like that too. So Killer Kev just making an appearance in the background. Everyone just got silent for a second.
There was those reports earlier in the season. Russell Wilson in New York. That obviously turned out nothing.
I think Russell Wilson should leave football and go to the MLB.
We got a deal.
I think he can end up doing that at some point. If you have the chance to be a
two-sport athlete.
Thank you. I think you should
Brady
be able
got
to
drafted by the Expos.
Yeah, he made the right choice to stay with football at the right time. One thing, though, I do want to talk about is Cleveland Browns. Again, we talked about this. I was going down the list every game, but Baker Mayfield. What's going to be great this year is that Baker Mayfield is supposed to be is going to be what Johnny Manziel should have been. When they got Johnny Manziel for Cleveland,
same ego, same everything. He just makes good decisions.
He's the same everything. And Baker, and I think Johnny Manziel. Some people might not like him because he comes from money, and he's Johnny Football, and he does he's doing the little dollar signs right now.
Every time he throws a touchdown,
Johnny Money. I think Baker is the guy that you have a lot of egos on that Cleveland team between Odell, Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward.
I think Odell and Jarvis Landry, they were boys at LSU.
Yeah.
They're still boys. That's going to be
Baker
huge.
needs to be that guy that controls the egos.
And I think the Browns already messed up by hiring Freddie Kitchens over Greg Williams. They already messed up doing that.
But I still feel that someone like a Baker Mayfield will still lead that team out there, and I still think that they're going to end up doing something. They've always had a good run game. So they got Chubb, right? Chubb last year.
Yep.
That was
and they even got Kareem Hunt after 8 games.
And the thing with Chubb, and then we talk about running backs, right? No 3-down backs. So something that Cleveland's been doing for a while has been 2 or 3 guys, right? So they had last year they had Carlos Hyde. And they had
Duke Johnson.
Duke Johnson's your 3rd down guy, right? They have Isaiah Crowell in the past. They've done pretty good with that.
It was Isaiah Crowell and Duke Johnson.
So this year, you're going to have Duke Johnson, Chubb, and Kareem Hunt. When Kareem Hunt, by the time he comes back, which is going to be around their bye week, it's going to be mostly halfway through the season. If the Browns are 4-4 or whatever they are, 6-3, whatever it is, they're going to have a 3-down. They're going to have a 3-headed monster just like the Patriots did.
And they even a tight end like Njoku. I think Njoku's
yes,
good.
Absolutely. No, they have great offense, and they got great young guys in the defense.
Even Myles Garrett.
Jacksonville when they're in the AFC title game.
I think Nick Foles. Speaking of Jacksonville, getting off. Nick Foles is going to do some good things with Jacksonville. I think he can.
I don't think they have the offensive weapons.
The AFC South is
Jacksonville's
always
done.
The AFC South is always a competitive division, especially with Luck back. Deshaun Watson, I think he's always going to be like that. Jacksonville, I think.
I just don't. I think Nick Foles is solid, but I don't think he.
I don't think Tennessee.
They don't have the offensive weapons.
Jacksonville was a one-hit wonder.
They were that close.
It's that one-hit wonder of just being there, and that's your only chance. Like you just said about the Chargers, that was
because their defense is really
Chargers.
good.
Phillip Rivers. Don't get me wrong, he's great. He's always an 8.
He's so underappreciated, but he's never gonna get another chance.
That was your one season to come into New England and
he
get
got
the win.
smacked.
And you screwed that up, and I think it's the same way with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now going down there. I went down there last year. I met with one of the top guys with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Mike Perkins. Shout out to him. He got me in there. He's never going to listen to this. Even if this gets out there, he's probably going to be retired by the time he gets out there. But, something that we talked about was, what's his face, that cornerback over there for the
Jalen Ramsey?
So Jalen Ramsey. So, he talks a lot about Gronk going into that game. A lot of organizations don't like that. They don't want guys that shit talk like that.
So I feel like Jacksonville has a lot of that with Leonard Fournette, Jalen Ramsey.
And it's funny because Mike Perkins said the biggest shit talker in the NFL is Tom Brady. He does it on the field.
On the field,
he gets in your face on the field. Keeps it away from the media. Keeps it away from everybody else. Keeps it on that gridiron right there. Jalen likes to do those HQ things. He likes to do
when he was
he's kind of like
HQ.
He reminds me of Larry Bird.
But he likes to go into these big moments and then talk shit when it's in the media outlets and stuff like that. Tom Coughlin, who's such an old school type of guy, he hates that. They want to get rid of him. And that's what's wrong with the organization. Belichick's not afraid to cut you at any time, no matter who you are.
Yeah. And I think
even a guy like Richard Seymour, I will trade you to Oakland. I don't care who you are. Chandler Jones, you're on K2. Some shit's happening to you. You're in the news. See you later. We're going to get rid of you. And those things happen, man. I just feel like that's what separates the Patriots from everybody else is they're willing to move on at any time. So I look at a Jaguars team. It's a complete no-go for them. I look at a Cleveland team.
I
see they're doing the right things. They're putting the right people around there, but it has to come down from a leader.
I can see Jacksonville going 8-8, resting right there. I think Indianapolis and Houston are going to be competitive in the AFC South again.
So I said that Oakland Raiders were going to be at the AFC title game. If there's another team, it's the Indianapolis Colts.
That team is going to be good.
I like
Luck too.
But it's just like it's funny because the Colts have not beaten the Patriots in the last 10 years.
I'm not buying into the Raiders hype.
I have to. I believe
had a
in
great
them.
offseason and all that, but I'm just not buying into it.
I bought in the Cleveland
Browns.
I'm
buying into the Cleveland Browns. I think they're going to win the AFC North.
One of those three teams between the Raiders, Browns, and Colts are going to be in the AFC title. It's got to be one of those teams. It's got to be one of them.
The Colts. I mean, they had
the Colts are closer
to it. They beat
Tennessee
last year. They beat Tennessee. Then they beat. They
lost to Houston.
They beat Houston and lost to Kansas City.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Houston,
it was like one of those teams had to go into Kansas City, and that's tough. That's tough to go in there.
They weren't going to go into Kansas City and beat them. That defense wasn't there yet, and I think it could be. I think Kansas City's going to cool off. I still think they're going to be in the playoffs. I think they're going to win the West, AFC West. But I think the Colts are going to be legit this year as a shot.
I think the Colts need to go after a defensive play, like some defensive play, some defensive presence.
That linebacker.
That's well, yeah. They I didn't he win, or he was like a candidate for
rookie of the year.
Yeah, he was candidate for defensive rookie of the year. He was phenomenal this year. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but he was phenomenal this year. I really liked him. I think they got to get
and they got Eric Ebron over there, right?
Yeah, and he
was great addition.
What did he?
Eric
Ebron.
He had the most touchdowns for a tight end. I think it was 14.
I think he got more than that.
Last year?
I think he did.
It goes to show you I'm not paying attention to fantasy football because that's what I pay attention to. I'm just like the Colts are the Colts, but no, he was someone in Detroit that was supposed to be that next greatest tight end.
I liked him in Detroit. They never gave him a real shot.
Well, shout out to you saying that, like, oh, well, you know what? Like, the Lions don't know what to use for Stafford. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they had a great player in Ebron, they just didn't know how to use him.
Yeah.
They said in Ebron when he was in Detroit, they said, oh, he has drop issues.
Yeah.
He can't catch the football.
Well, it's because Stafford sucks.
He can catch the football. Look at him. He can catch the football.
When he has an actual quarterback throwing to him.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about me getting a Super Bowl 54 tattoo?
I think you got to do it. You got to do it.
Gotta roll the dice.
Is this some Redline podcast, like inside Spike King right here?
It's going to officially happen in August at some point, unless someone out there else gets it first. If someone else wants to do it.
If anyone's listening, you can't do it.
So, we have a friend. We have a friend who said if Tom Brady wins, well, I think it was like 8 rings, he'll get his nipple pierced.
Yeah.
If someone else gets this Super Bowl tattoo before I do, I will denounce the Patriots. I will actively root against them. Because of my season last year, they went 11-5. I got this in August, dude. Like, and I did this. And if you're gonna do that and try to capture lightning in a bottle and be me and copy me, then I'm just gonna root against you because I'm not gonna root against somebody that wants to.
Spike King's gotta do it again.
Yeah.
But if someone else wants to do it first, then you'll see the Spike King actually root against the Patriots. I will actually do that.
Nope.
I will. But my thing is this: I get it again. The Pats are shooing in to be the Super Bowl again. Let's have fun with it. Let's have a great time. It's not always about me. It's not always about the Spike King. It's about us, dude. Like, it's about the Pats Nation coming together. What I loved about last season and doing what I did last year, I went to almost every home game. There was 2 games I didn't go to. It was the home opener because I was sick with a sinus infection, and I didn't go to the Green Bay game because I had mono, which is crazy. Yeah. But I went to 7 road games last year, and you meet so many people in. And
obviously the whole Super Bowl thing.
Went to the I didn't go into the game, but just being down there, you meet so many people part of Pats Nation, and everyone has so many great stories.
I loved how you did that fan appreciation stuff every week.
Yeah, that's something I want to do again.
I love
just
seeing
a quick picture, and not only that, I've met so many people, like so many different like tailgates, like the Tailgater 2000 or Silver Bullets tailgate.
I saw you at that one against when the Jets at MetLife. That seemed to be a big one, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. You know what? You know what's funny about that Jets tailgate was done through social media, and that was done through me knowing a couple people down in New Jersey. Hey, let's be there. Then you met the Canadian couple that comes there. Then Silver Bullet comes out there. Camille Kostek comes over there, and Gronk's girlfriend comes out, and she surprised me. I was dressed up like Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was a great time. It was a great experience for everyone. It was a great game too. That was a big win for them for their defense because they stopped them 4th and goal too for the Jets. That's a whole nother story. But it's just great to meet fans all over there, and some people and some fans will come to me because they. What I like about social media is that people live vicariously through me in a way. There are people that will never have the chance to go to a Patriots game, never have the chance to travel. They might be in India or China or on California to Texas, and there's actually a big Texas group out there. They got 250 people go every single game to this local restaurant down there. So it's great to meet all these different people all over the place. Yeah. Pats Nation runs it, dude. And what I want to do is the Spike King, quote-unquote, persona. But what Brian wants to really do is just showcase everybody out there. Because I don't know the X's and O's of the game. Trust me, I don't. I didn't really play football growing up, dude. I quit on my first day of high school. I can't do that. It's a whole nother. Make fun of me. I don't care. I'm just a fan. That's all it is. But there's so many people out there that have great stories in Pats Nation. There's so many people out there that have these awesome tailgates that need to be explored. There are so many bars out there in every city that's a Pats dedicated bar, whether it's Chicago, whether it's even in Philadelphia. And even this year, Fort Lauderdale by the Sea, when they play in Miami, when the Pats play in Miami for Super Bowl 54, everyone go there because there's an actual. It's called the Village Bar or something like that, and they have a great setup. So, Patriots Nation, there's millions and millions of people out there with better stories than me. Trust me. How do I make their stories out there? How do I promote that? How do I put that on that platform? That's what I like doing about the Spike King. I've gotten a lot of help throughout there's a lot of people that I can give tons of shout outs to everybody. Even the simple thing of before this podcast, when you recorded a little video of me, hopefully it can get on the NFL commercial. Yeah, that's not me doing it, dude. That's not me. That's someone coming to me from California and saying, hey, you need to be on this casting call. That's from someone to me going to a couple friends saying, what do I say? I need one-liners. I need this and that. I have the ability because I'm not afraid to make fun of myself. I'm not afraid to make myself look stupid. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. And everyone, it's like one person coming together as an entire group. So that's what I love about doing the Patriots. I'm getting a little serious right now, guys. But that's what I love about doing the Spike King thing. That's what I love about being who I am. That's what I love about using my platform for other people. I'm not looking at myself to be like, how do I make $1 million? Because I've met people like that in Pats Nation. And I know those people, and that's why I hate them, and I will never work with them. How do I push someone else's, story out there? That's why I love working with Jake Santos and the Teddy's team thing. That's why I like going to the Tailgate of 2000, who's been there since 2000, 1999, and putting their situation out there. Because you never know who's watching, and you never know who sees it and says, you know what? I don't like the Spike King. I don't give a shit about him. But you know what? I kind of want to go see Tailgater 2000. I kind of want to donate to Jake's cause. I kind of want to go meet Red Lion Podcast, and I want to go talk with them because they're great people. You know what I mean? That's what I love building up in this New England area, and that's what I like. Keeps driving me to do what I got to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's why you got to do this tattoo again.
Well, that's what I mean. This tattoo is great. It's great. It's what? I believe in this team. Last year, it was more of this. Me and Corey, GRD, we talked. And said, I went down to Atlanta last year, and I said, the Pats, they lost Super Bowl 52, and Brady was pretty much the MVP, and they lost. And I said, you know what? They're going to be back there next year. They're always there. It's a calculated risk. They're going to be there. And I went down to Atlanta. I flew down to Atlanta. I took a tour of the stadium, and there's a video of me back in March. I
saw it, and you said...
And I was like, they're going to be back down here. And I just kept doing that all year. They're going to be here. They're going to be here. And then GRD's like, double down on that. Why don't you get a tattoo? We were at training camp last year in July. And I was like, I'll get it. That's fine. So we did the whole 10,000 likes, get you a tattoo. Got 10,000 likes pretty quick. I got the tattoo and lived with it. It's great marketing because you put a camera in front of me. Yeah, I'll talk about the tattoo. I'll be an idiot about it. But when I knew I got that tattoo and I got covered in the local media, I was actually working with Best Buddies at the time. Best Buddies is for intellectual and developmental disabilities. And I started pairing up with them because if I'm getting viewership, what can I work with? Like in the sense of if I'm getting views, how can I put that in a positive way? I want to give them awareness, get them donations, understand what they're doing. And all summer last year that people don't realize is that, again, I told you about Ty Law, knowing him. He owns Launch Trampoline Park. They loved me because they know what I'm thinking in my mind. Hey, Brian, we're not paying you, but what can we do to help you out? I want Best Buddies and Launch to come together and have a Best Buddies day. I want them to come in there, and I want them to have these kids have a great time. That's all it is. And I worked hard all summer, putting emails together, putting proposals together before the tattoo last year. And we got a set date. It was like August. It was like the day before. It was the day before the home opener, right? And it was Best Buddies Day at Launch Trampoline Park down in Warwick. I got the tattoo. The first thing I promoted after the tattoo went viral was Best Buddies Day. Because if you're going to come on my page and give me views, well, I'm going to put it in a different light. I'm going to put in something positive. And when I went to that day, and
that's what you do with the Jake or Teddy's
Jake
team.
thing. So I was going to get to that and just say I went down there to the thing in Warwick, Rhode Island, to the event, and it wasn't the Spike King dude. It's Brian. I'm in the background. It's not about me. It's about these kids. It's about having fun. It's about putting your resources together. It's about networking. Same thing with Jake. I met Jake last May. And not this past, the one before that. Met him at Teddy's team, loved his cause. He raised $3,000 on his own. Hey, I'm the Spike King. I'm getting a little bit momentum. I knew where I was going to be. Let me be with you. Let me pair up with you. In December, after the Pittsburgh game, after spiking the terrible towel, after doing what I do.
The AB in the river.
And throwing the AB in the river, which never actually happened. It's all an illusion at the end of the day. That's what we do on social media. But on certain ways. I said to Jake's mom, and I talked to Jake, and I loved what he was all about. Let me promote you. Just as an FYI, I'm going to get a lot of hate. This is what's going to happen, but I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm going to promote you. I believe in you. And guess what? I put him out there. When we had the Chargers game, and Roondog was like, hey, you guys, you and Bolt God, who's like a super fan out there, $100 bet with each other goes to charity. Pats won. He donated. But another fan, a couple fans out there, said, hey, I want to start donating. I want to start reaching out. Bolt Angel, who's another super fan, she donated $100 every single week to Jake. That's cool. Because of me just putting it out there and explaining Jake's situation. And that's what I love about social media. That's what I love about doing the Spike King thing, because you never know what's going to be the next thing out there to end up promoting. And it was great going to the Teddy Bruschi thing the other day. Bruschi met with Jake. Teddy doesn't even know what the hell goes on. He's just like, oh, wow, this guy's been donating some money, or this kid's been donating money. I've been seeing it. And he saw a check for $7,000. And Teddy Bruschi was like, you know what? That's actually more than some of our runners. That's something that's crazy. And that's what's great about social media. It's great that you can start spreading awareness like that and something bigger. So, the tattoo. Super Bowl 54. It's just great marketing. Because you know what? I say luck is for losers, and I'll do the whole thing. But I'm very, very fortunate that things played out the right way with Super Bowl 53 and the tattoo, and it was legitimately done in August. So doing it again, I was all over me. You stick a camera in front of my face, I'll turn the persona on. I'll do that for you guys. Putting that back out there, it's marketing. I know I'm going to get that market again. How do I spin it in a positive light? Who else this year, this upcoming season, I don't know anything yet, but who else am I going to put in the shining light that deserves the spotlight over me? I'll grab that spotlight, put it over here, put it a couple inches to the left. The spotlight's on me. Let me tap the microphone a little bit, okay? But I got somebody else that's going to step up and take that microphone for a couple minutes. If I get 15 minutes of fame, who am I giving that 14 minutes to? Great. You know what? Whether I'm splitting that up or whether I'm giving it to one person. Let me get 1 minute because I got your attention for a second, but let me put it into someone else's light. So that's what I like to do as the Spike King. You got that. This is what it is, man. And I can't wait to keep growing in general. And Tom Brady's not going to last forever. The Patriots dynasty's not going to last forever. We talk about 5 years, and it might really happen, but it's not going to last forever. And what I believe in the youth movement is that, when the Pats, and this is big because I've seen this, and I learned through stuff. We're on the Cincinnati game, that game 5. I got in there for $60 off of StubHub. A lot of people started hopping off the bandwagon, and that's what's going to happen when the Pats have a 4-12 season. People are not going to believe in them anymore.
Brady's gone, Belichick's gone.
Yep, and that's going to happen. The organization's still going to be good, don't get me wrong, but they're going to have some tough seasons. A lot of people, the older generation, no offense to them, they're going to hop off. We've seen it all. We've seen their very bad years, and we've lived through all the great years.
The great years, yep.
It's the young generation. Hey, the Spike King's here to pick us up. Let's keep going. Because I want people to learn. I want people to learn through media. I don't know everything. I don't know everything about media, but like you guys want to go to college. You guys want to do this stuff. You want to get into sports journalism. You want to get into sports communication. I'm here to help you guys out. How can I help you guys out? Because I'm past my prime in college. I went for something completely different, and I wish I went for broadcasting or something different. How do I help you guys out? How do I help out the youth in Boston? Because it's so hard in the media area and the marketing media to do something. So this is what I love about the Spike King stuff. I just love this to give back to you guys. And I want to thank you guys for coming here to the HQ today to talk 3 different sports. We had a great day overall,
Great day.
and I really do thank you for this stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time.
Glad to have you back anytime.
Yeah, let's have you back anytime.
I kind of wrapped you guys up without you guys wrapping it up.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, that was a good way to wrap it up. I mean,
we've talked everything.
Yeah,
about
we
the
pretty much
Patriots
talked
and
about
stuff.
everything.
Covered
Might as well
everything.
just, like,
Covered
you know,
everything from
talk
every
about giving
sport.
back.
Yeah,
We'd be glad to have you back any day. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, I'm always open, and anybody that's out listening in the New England market, man, let's all work together. Do not be selfish. Do not be someone that's like, I'm better than somebody else. I'd rather, and I said this to my buddy Dito, if you're out there and somehow you make like tens of millions of dollars or you get the following, that's awesome. I'm there to support you. That's all it is. I don't care about being a middleman. I don't care about being the low man on the totem pole, man. Let's all just work together as one. And there's been people that I've worked with in the past or still work with that I don't see eye to eye with them, but I work with them. I know if it works on both sides, if it benefits both sides. There are some people that are just one way, my way or the highway. Sometimes I get like that, trust me, because I know what's going to hit or miss because after doing this for a while. But I'm never afraid to, as long as it works in my time. You guys got me at the right time today, trust me, because I'm usually never this free today. But I loved it, man, and I cannot wait for this 2019 season for the Patriots because I want to make it even bigger and better than before, and I want that positive message out there.
It's a big year.
I want that platform for like a couple minutes, man, and you give me that national exposure. I want to put it the right way. So I'm very, very excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time today.
Yeah, really.
I
we
just put my
appreciate
Drake
it.
on there for a second.
Yeah.
Heartfelt, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Like, live by a champion right there. Drake.
Put God's plan in the back
God's
of this.
plan.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Spike King. Thank you to Killer Kev, too. Killed it during the NBA.
Yeah, no, if you got to go back, if you're just listening to this one, you got to go back to the NBA podcast, listen to Killer Kev. Killer Kev's first podcast ever, and you guys were the ones that ended up getting him, which was great for doing that. You got me on Patriots. I can go for miles and miles about the Patriots, which is great as well, too. And then the Red Sox, I chipped in there.
Yeah, you
took
a good job.
I put my pink hat out.
Job,
Yeah, I picked my pink hat out, but 3 great podcasts, and I really do think that the Red Line podcast to come in here. I love the name. I love the guys. You guys are from Braintree, Massachusetts. That's where the Red Line. You guys are part of the stop right there.
That's how we
I'm
got
an
there.
Orange Line guy up here. I was more of a commuter rail guy, the Purple Line. So I like that. It's something very unique and different, and I hope that you guys keep grinding. Find those people to get you on your podcast, and I'm always up for to come back on again at some point. So
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
We'd be
Yeah.
glad to have you back. But I think that'll do it. That's the third and final one for today. See you guys later.